than they were anything else, and that's not saying much, because Gene Simmons is a money-hungry person that he's marketed Kiss to death to the point where most rock fans don't really care. The next band I'm going to bring up, this might bring a bit more controversy because I bring this up. Motley Crue they're not really known much for their music. They're known for it somewhat, but Tommy Lee is more well known for Married to Pamela Anderson. Nikki Sixx is more well known for a heroin overdose, which is sad, or dating Kat Von D, and Vince Neil's well known because he killed Hanoi Rock's drummer. Really, and sort of sad, but it's true. Now, when people talk about Motley Crue, it's usually, oh yeah, they mention the albums Girls, 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 or Dr. Feelgood, or something like that, but I always look at it. Motley Crue was in a time where music wasn't really that great. They were part of what I call the powder puff generation of musicians that I just don't like. Motley Crue's music was so-so. That's all I'll put it. Their music was so-so. It was never like something that just blew you away. I'm like, pretty much if Motley Crue song came on the radio, I couldn't care less. You know that. Next band I'm going to mention is another one of the Powder Puff bands, Poison. I heard people saying, yeah, Duck Poison and Duck Poison, and the same comments I make for Kiss and Motley Crue, you could pretty much make for Poison. And even the next band, Def Leppard, Duran Duran, and Bon Jovi's a couple other ones I have on my list that people are like, yeah, induct them, and I'm like, why? They haven't really done anything. Next one is sort of one that I like to talk about a bit, is Joan Jett. People say Joan Jett deserves to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Now, because they say for a woman it's harder to do anything now. Here's why I would not put her in. Because you say women, I would never, and this is my opinion, until you put Jinx Dawson in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame from the band Coven, female artists, to me, especially Joan Jett, to say she's one of the best, she isn't. Because hard rock, female vocalists, Jinx Dawson is better, just better. If you haven't heard any of Coven's music, go listen to it, and you can compare her. Even Grace Slick makes Joan Jett look bad. I'd say Lita Ford I'd put in before Joan Jett. Next band is a punk band, and I've heard a few people say this band should be put in because Sex Pistols and all that, but actually I don't even know if the Sex Pistols are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but the Pogues. And it took me a while, and I had to Wikipedia them to actually figure out who the heck they were, but don't really know. Now on to bands I'm on the fence about. Now this could be a longer list, like if there's any bands I've missed that you think deserve to be in or don't deserve to be in, or just stuff you disagree with, just comment. Bands on the fence. Bad Company. Sure, they had a slew of great hits. They were a great band in the 70s, but I just don't know. Because some of these bands I just can't put them ahead of on my list. Steppenwolf, of pretty much Easy Rider fame and having some good songs from the 60s and 70s and really, but same thing, I just don't know. Like, that's the thing, I just don't know where to put them on mine. The Guess Who, Canadian rock band. Just because they're Canadian and I'm Canadian, I'm not gonna just put them in there just because they're Canadian. It has to be on this list, and I'm just not sure. Journey is another band. If you would have Neil Sean Journey, maybe. I don't know. Next band, Heart. They've had a few good songs, but I'll just read off the rest because it's pretty much the same for each of them. Jethro Tull, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and War. War is post Animals Are Borden, which was a really, really great band. And actually a band I'll throw into deserves to be in is Loved. Their early 60s songs were great. But yeah, a few bands I'm sort of on the fence about also is Gwen Malmsteen, Meatloaf, and I think you can put him in here, Steve Vai. Now, Steve Vai was an extraordinary guitar player, still is. To play in Frank Zappa's band as young as he did, he had to be really gifted guitar player, which says a lot. I know a lot of people also talk about greatest drummers of all time. They always say John Bonham or some other guys, but Terry Bozzio was a great drummer. But yeah, Steve Vai deserves to be in there too. Just not sure where I'd put him, but deserves to be in there. A lot of people say, why not Iron Maiden and Judas Priest? Why are you on the fence about Iron Maiden and Judas Priest? Well, for me, it seemed the longer the 80s went on, the worse Iron Maiden and Judas Priest got. That's just my opinion on it. If you would have put it just right off of British Steel, I might have. But after going through their full body of work, which is something that is hard to do, if you want me to do band discography reviews, I'll do them. If you want me to do any kind of review, I'll pretty much do it. But yeah, that's my list now. I know some of you won't agree with this list or like this list, but it's just something I like to hear your replies and your like or dislike or just your comments on what you think of this list. It's just, that's my video. Like, subscribe, and should be back with my next video. Will probably be either an album review or another topic. If you want to bring up a topic or an album I should review, just comment down below, and that's my review. Peace.